fearless leader Jason Fields here, and I wanted to just briefly give you an intro as to some of the things that we'll be covering in the class that I'm doing on April 24th and April 25th at our downtown office in Milwaukee. That class titled How to Get Out of a Financial Rut. And you can use some of these same principles to get out of a rut, period. Doesn't necessarily have to mean it's a financial rut. It could just be a personal rut. It could be a number of ruts, places where you're stuck, whether it's your career, whether it is your relationships. But how do you get out of that state of, well, where am I? I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to call. How do I start moving? How do I start getting my life together? How do I get back on track to where I'm supposed to be? In essence, what will help you answer is, what's your purpose? What's your passion and your pay? Meaning there are three things that have to line up, I believe, from personal experience, that once you address those issues, my purpose, my passion, and my pay, you'll start to see, I think you'll start to feel better. You'll start to have a game plan as to how to get out of a rut. So one of the things that we're going to use in our class is Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. And basically what Maslow said was there are 5 levels that motivate us. And the only way we go up this pyramid or this ladder is that we have to address each level in order to move up. What do I mean by that? Basically, when I'm teaching financial literacy courses, if you are at the physiological needs area where your top priority is, I need to figure out where I'm going to sleep. I need to figure out how I'm going to eat. I need to figure out my payment, my pay for my rent. I need to figure out just basic things that we all need to survive. When I'm talking about investing in financial literacy, if you're here, you haven't addressed these needs, what I'm telling you or what I'm explaining to you, how to make money, how to be a leader, all those things will take a back seat because you're not emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually yet at a point where you can deal with the fact that you're at this level and there are some other things that you need to do. And what Maslow said was, again, until you can address each level, you'll then begin to move up a level. And so you can see there are 5 levels. Recently, I want to say most recently, there are 6 with self-transcendence as the next level, that in order for us to be motivated, we need to address these issues. And so for our physiological needs, I need food, I need water, I need sleep. I need to do things that physically will make sure I'm okay and that I'm moving forward. Next is safety, meaning I need to make sure my health is in good order. I need to make sure that I have a decent job. If I'm talking to you about investing in financial literacy, if you're worried about whether you're going to be fired next week, it's going to be hard for you to accept or deal with the technical things and even the emotional things that I'm laying out in order for you to be financially successful. And so as you can see, this chart goes up to a point where at some point money is not a priority. Now you're starting to look at, okay, I want to make sure I'm leaving a legacy. So we'll go over that in our class. I also want you to look at this chart here, because if you look here, it basically breaks this chart up into 3 areas. The first area, basic needs, meaning if your basic needs aren't met, regardless of what I'm telling you, it's going to be difficult for you to move forward. Now, it can be done, but you need to understand you're going to struggle with it. Psychological needs, again, and this is where sometimes a lot of us, as you transcend to each level, oftentimes we get stuck in these areas here. We get ruts. We come up with ruts where how do we get to these other areas? Belongingness, love needs. These are all our psychological needs. If you don't feel valued, or if you don't feel good, if you don't feel loved, if you don't feel respected, there are some things that you got to do in order to change this. The last is self-actualization. How do you get to the point where now, again, there's some things that you want to achieve spiritually from a legacy point of view? So as we look at this, as we look at that chart, we're going to look at where you at now. And then number 2, how do you think? What's your thinking process? And we're going to go over this in class because as this chart or this diagram shows you, that one, and we'll explain this more in class, that your beliefs affect your thoughts affect your actions, and your actions affect your experience, or because of your actions, the results will then be there. So we're going to go over this in class, and I want to thank you for signing up. Peace.